Uh, yes, that's all is about branding, but more of that, branding is about to create value about the product and communicate the brand to the user. So branding can create value because dengan branding kita dapat membuat suatu produk yang tadinya tidak bernilai menjadi mempunyai nilai. Jadi misalnya ketika kita memiliki sebuah produk, tetapi produk itu akan dipasarkan atau di selling ke umum, itu tidak akan memiliki nilai kalau misalnya produk yang akan kita tawarkan itu belum memiliki branding. Jadi user itu akan mempertanyakan pasti produknya itu apakah kualitasnya seperti apa, nama dari produknya apa, terus kandungan dari produk itu apa. Kalau misalnya produknya makanan, misalnya makanan itu mengandung apa, jadi tidak ada informasi yang jelas kalau misalnya kita tidak membuat branding dari produk tersebut. Jadi ketika kita tidak memiliki branding di dalam suatu produk, produk tersebut tidak akan memiliki value. Nah, oleh karena itu kita membutuhkan branding untuk untuk menambah atau menaikkan value dari produk tersebut. Oh, what is brand value? Brand value is about to increase brand awareness and then perceived quality, brand association, and brand loyalty. For many consumers, the brand is maybe the product is just the product. For us as a designer, branding is a key strategic tool to use, create awareness, reputation, and build the organization image. So we build the organization image of the product in a branding. The product brand build relationship between the product and the customer, whereas the corporate brands represent the company to all stakeholders, including employees and investors. The corporate branding extend beyond short-term tactics of the marketing department and requires long-term engagement from the company as a whole. So, produk brand itu jadi membangun relasi antara produk dan konsumennya. Oleh karena itu, brand itu tidak hanya sebatas logo dan promosi dari media produk yang dipromosikan tersebut, tetapi brand yang baik itu dapat menjalin komunikasi yang baik antara produk dan konsumennya. Jadi membutuhkan waktu yang sangat panjang untuk seterusnya melakukan engagement dengan produk tersebut terhadap konsumen. If we talk about startup company brand building, so startup company meaning is newly born companies with struggle for existence. To focus brand building the startup phase can increase ability the company to survive and grow. So brand building concern building recognition and knowledge by deciding what short meaning a brand should have in the minds of consumers, something also known as brand image. Jadi konsumen itu akan mengingat dan mengetahui apa yang ada di produk kita Jadi sesuatu yang dapat mereka ingat oleh konsumen tersebut disebut dengan brand image. Jadi brand image ini sangat penting untuk konsumen karena ketika konsumen dapat mengingat produk kita dan dapat dengan mudah ketika melihat logo mereka dengan mudah melihat produk kita logonya apa, kemudian dapat mengingat misalnya oh ternyata brand ini tuh produknya seperti ini, berarti brand kita sudah berhasil karena informasi yang disampaikan di dalam brand tersebut dapat diingat dan di di apa dapat dipahami oleh konsumennya. So, how to create and design a brand for startup company? First thing, we must find a good idea. So, business idea doesn't have to be new, but it must satisfy a need in order to succeed. When looking for a good idea, consider what existing business currently offer and what they do not. This could be opportunity for you to improve them and offer something better. After that, you must creating USP. USP is a unique selling point. It can differentiate your product or service will depend on what you are offering the market and your competition. And then the next thing is choosing a model. One of the first decision in planning a business is how to operate and make money. It is called a business model. As you shape your business model, seek the opinions of potential customers. Jadi langkah berikutnya adalah menentukan model dari bisnis yang nanti akan dipilih. Jadi untuk startupnya itu apakah modelnya itu berupa offline store, online store, atau direct selling, manufacturing, dan lain-lain. Jadi di awal kita harus menentukan bisnis model seperti apa yang nanti akan dibuat di dalam produk brand kita. Selain itu, kita harus menentukan juga jenis bisnis modelnya, seperti misalnya business to business, atau business to consumer, B2B or B2C, or something else. We need to decide the model business. And then next, we must identifying the customers. Understanding the potential user are enabled to develop product and service to meet their needs. First, we need to targeting the customers, and then segmenting the market. There are several ways to group your customer based on who they are and how they behave. First, we must segmenting demographic factors. It define a customer profile, age, gender, marital status, ethnicity, income, and occupation. And then next, we must segmenting geographic factors such as where the customers come from, and then where they live. And next, we must segmenting psychographic factors such as target customer interest, values, personality traits, attitude, and preference. The next stage is choosing a name for your brand. First impression count, so consider carefully when deciding a name on your business. So the best name are memorable, accessible, and have positive association. They should easy to say, write, and spell, and should be an asset to your business. If you plan to trade internationally, so check how your name translates in other language. The name for your brand must be unique, simple, descriptive, meaningful, unusual, and alliterative. Why your brand name must unique? Because your company names need to be unique to avoid legal issues or confusion with other brands. And then why your brand name must be simple? Because a simple name is easier to recall, say, and search for social media and website. And then next, why we have to descriptive the name of the brand, because you might decide on a name for your company after compiling a list of brief descriptors of what your business does. And then why your brand name must meaningful, because a name that has meaning behind it makes for a more brand story. So brand story is necessary for our brand name. The next stage is developing your brand. A brand is a tool for helping a business to stand out from the crowd. So creating and refining your own brand will enable you to inform customer what your business is about. Jadi mengembangkan brand itu sangat penting karena dapat membuat produk kita berbeda dengan produk yang lainnya. Oleh karena itu kita harus menentukan bagaimana brand itu nanti akan dibuat. Dengan membuat brand atau creating a brand, jadi nanti brand yang dibuat itu tidak hanya sebatas logo atau iklan promosi untuk produk yang nanti brand kita akan dipromosikan. Lebih daripada itu, sebuah brand harus dapat mengkomunikasikan bagaimana tujuan dari produk yang kita tawarkan dapat disampaikan terhadap konsumen. Jadi sebaiknya produk yang kita komunikasikan terhadap konsumen itu betul-betul keinginan dari user. Oleh karena itu kita harus dapat memahami kira-kira user itu membutuhkan solusi seperti apa. Jadi kita dapat menawarkan solusi berupa produk, dan produk tersebut kita buat desain brandnya sesuai dengan keinginan dari user tersebut. Kemudian langkah berikutnya adalah deciding on your brand. Jadi deciding on your brand itu harus dapat menjelaskan apa yang konsumen inginkan, kemudian apa yang dapat kita tawarkan di dalam brand tersebut, dan nanti ketika brand tersebut dirancang, perusahaannya itu bergerak di bidang apa. Jadi harus lebih jelas ditentukan dari awal brand kita itu nanti akan dibuat seperti apa. Kemudian langkah berikutnya adalah developing the concept. Jadi developing the concept itu kita harus dapat mengembangkan konsep dari langkah-langkah sebelumnya, bagaimana brand itu dapat berasosiasi dengan konsumennya. Nah, di dalam tahapan developing the concept ini, kita dapat menemukan gagasan seperti misalnya kalau kita sudah menentukan brandnya itu misalnya tradisional and reliable, berarti itu gagasan awalnya seperti itu. Produknya itu tradisional and reliable. Kemudian sophisticated and exclusive, bisa juga seperti itu. Jadi itu karakter dari produk yang nanti akan kita tawarkan di dalam brandnya. Itu bisa menjadi big idea-nya untuk tahapan awal sebelum kita menentukan brand personality dari produknya. Nah, kemudian langkah berikutnya adalah choosing your brand personality. Jadi setelah menentukan ide awal bagaimana brand itu dapat menawarkan solusi-solusi dari permasalahan, kemudian kita menemukan karakter dari atau ide big idea dari produk tersebut itu seperti apa. Langkah berikutnya adalah choosing your brand personality. Jadi kita dapat mengembangkan lagi kira-kira personality dari brandnya itu seperti apa. Contohnya ketika tadi kita menentukan karakternya itu tradisional and reliable. Berarti kalau tradisional itu dapat kita kembangkan lagi di dalam proses brainstorming, misalnya tradisional, reliable, comforting, and familiar. Jadi kira-kira seperti itu. Atau misalnya kalau karakternya bold, berarti gagasannya bold, dari bold itu bisa dikembangkan lagi karakternya seperti apa atau personality-nya. Jadi dari kalau misalnya karakternya bold, berarti bisa juga nanti dan personality-nya itu youthful, spirit, carefree. Atau misalnya kalau idenya itu rugged, berarti personality-nya itu bisa saja tough, strong, outward bound, and masculine. And then the final stage of creating brand for your startup. First, you must consider what audio or visual elements you need to develop for your brand. Use memorable symbols, phrases, and sound that resonate with customers. Jadi ketika kita menentukan audio visual elements, nanti misalnya brand kita sudah ditentukan konsep dan personality-nya itu seperti apa, kemudian nanti ketika logonya itu dibuat, kita menentukan kira-kira nanti elemen-elemen apa yang akan digunakan di dalam perancangan desain media yang akan kita buat tersebut. Jadi contohnya misalnya ada kemasan kopi, di dalam kemasan kopi itu kita harus menentukan kira-kira kalau karakter kopi itu misalnya kopi tradisional dari Bandung, dari Kabupaten Bandung, berarti itu kan karakternya itu karakter pedesaan atau village. Kita harus memasukkan karakter tersebut di dalam packaging, kemudian menentukan simbol apa yang sesuai untuk packaging kopi tersebut. Nah, dari simbol tersebut, usahakan logo yang dibuat itu lebih simpel dan lebih sederhana sehingga mudah diingat oleh konsumennya. Kalau nanti misalnya ada tagline dari produk yang akan kita buat brandingnya, nah usahakan tagline yang kita pilih juga harus simpel sehingga nanti konsumen itu akan mudah untuk mengingat nama brand atau logo yang kita buat tersebut. Kemudian langkah berikutnya adalah menentukan brand name. Jadi menentukan nama dari brand itu akan merefleksikan konsep dari brand tersebut. Jadi buat nama dari brand tersebut unik dan berbeda dari produk yang sudah ada, dan pastikan juga nama dari produk tersebut mudah diingat oleh konsumennya. Kemudian langkah yang terakhir adalah membuat desain dan packaging. Kalau misalnya startup yang dibuat itu berupa produk makanan atau produk barang, berarti kan membutuhkan packaging juga. Jadi pastikan packaging yang nanti dibuat itu desainnya sesuai dengan konsep yang sudah ditentukan sebelumnya. Jadi dari mulai penentuan warna, kemudian material, elemen yang digunakan itu harus sesuai dengan personality dari brandnya tersebut. Nah, yang terakhir, bagaimana kita mengkomunikasikan brand kita di dalam brand identity. Jadi, we must brainstorm how you can best convey your brand to potential customers. Perhaps through eye-catching design, a distinctive logo, and an unforgettable slogan. Remember that you need to communicate brand across more than one media platform. Jadi kita harus mengetahui bahwa brand yang nanti kita buat itu harus memiliki konsistensi, karena kalau kita memiliki konsistensi desain, konsep yang dari awal ditentukan itu harus di-deliver ke semua media, itu harus konsisten sama. Jadi konsumen itu dapat menangkap semua informasi yang ditampilkan karena memiliki kesamaan. Kalau misalnya berbeda-beda dari mulai misalnya, oh ternyata warnanya kok jadi beda, terus misalnya karakter dari brand ambasadornya juga misalnya tidak sesuai, atau bahasa yang digunakan juga itu mempengaruhi, misalnya bahasanya tiba-tiba berubah, itu akan membuat konsumen menjadi kurang aware terhadap brand tersebut. Nah, kira-kira seperti itu yang saya sampaikan mengenai brand building design. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Maybe next to Miss Faiza.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Sudewi. So everyone, we will continue the presentation to the next speaker. Okay, so she is Dr. Nur Faiza binti Muhammad Fahmi from UiTM. She is a lecturer in UiTM, and Dr. Nur Faiza will share about graphic design studio. So please welcome Dr. Nur Faiza binti Muhammad Fahmi.
Thank you. You give me a sec, yeah. Let me share the screen. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
But still not in slideshow.
PowerPoint.
Okay.
Sebentar. Okay. All right. Okay, so thank you, Miss Novi, if I'm correct.
Yes, yes.
All right. So thank you to Miss Uche juga karena giving me the opportunity, okay, to have the session today. Sharing on the topics of startup brand building, which is the core one. But concentrating my side here, I will be concentrating on deep dive on design research. What and how are we going to conduct it? So basically, as been mentioned by Ms. Novi just now, saya technologist Dr. Nur Faiza Muhammad Fahmi, who is one of the senior lecturer at UiTM Seri Iskandar, Malaysia. So basically my majoring is more on corporate branding design too. Okay, so let us start talking about startup brand building, just now Miss Uchi juga ada mengatakan yang when we talk about branding and startup, it is more on value. So what and how are we going to do it? Now we are going to get it more in depth, lebih mendalam on how is this going to be. First of all, the things that I would like to highlight here is that when we are talking about a brand, kalau kita nak buat atau we want to create a branding, we need to understand that a strong branding, it is a necessity. Necessity maksudnya it is a keperluan kan, a need that we need to look on before we create a certain brand. Ada orang mengatakan yang branding ni is a luxury, satu benda yang mewah ataupun penting, but it is not focusing on the brand itself. Okay, we need to remember that when it comes to the branding, apa yang akan jadi at the end of it, okay, the results of it. So we need to understand that when it comes to the branding, it serves not only the brand, not only the look, but it is going to look on the how does this brand able to distinguish themselves and able to attract the consumers or customers, and at the same time foster long-term success. Maksudnya at the end of it, the brand is going to be succeed remaining to be known by the consumers, ataupun at the end of it dia hilang. Itu, okay, we need to understand that one, alright, before we create that. So when we want to deep dive into branding, we need to understand that branding is about marketing strategy. So apa yang kita ingin lakukan, we need to strategize. Same goes to in our life, right? We want to do something, we need to strategize. So this one, when the word branding, we as the strategy people, okay, we need to make sure that at the end of it, we have to make the consumers or the customers able to identify what are the products that we have created. Okay, itu yang penting. Kalau tak, meaning that it is a failure for a brand. Kalau if let's say the brand was couldn't be reminded or couldn't be recognized by others, okay, and that is why it is mentioned over here saying that these people able to experience an organization, brand and products and select them over the competitors. Okay, kita punya banyak produk coklat, tapi hanya satu saja yang kita usually makan. Contoh, okay, kita ada Cadbury, kita ada Toblerone, kita ada Kit Kat. But why I love to take Kit Kat example? Okay, itu because of the strategy that has been planned by the owner itself. Okay, and then next, when we talk about the marketing strategy, we have to also understand that this strategy involves the practice of creating, okay, a name, okay, a name, a logo, a brand, okay, and other design assets that can be identifiable as for the organization. Okay, contoh ni, Jeko Donuts, right? Everyone knows what is Jeko Donuts. It is the HQ is dekat Tangerang, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? So this brand, it is not orang kata jago kampungan, bukan satu brand yang jago kampungan. It is fly all the way, not only to Malaysia, but to Singapore, to Shanghai, and also Manila, meaning that this brand is an identifiable brand able to compete with other brands such as Dunkin' Donuts and all that. Okay, so this is the one that has that I bilang sebentar tadi, yang mana it is a practice of creating a name, a logo and other design asset, yang mana satu produk itu boleh terbang jauh. Itu yang penting. Okay, and then next, when we have that, we have the marketing, we have the strategy, and in creating it, but how can we approach it? So when we want to approach it, we need to make sure that we encompasses the creation of a unique identity for a company. Okay, for your information over here, I insert here Ali Mutu and Ahok. Ali Mutu and Ahok is a kopitiam or cafeteria in Malaysia, where this brand actually trying to approach the unique identity for their companies by including our multiracial character. So we here in Malaysia, we have Chinese, Indian and also Malay. So kita cuba gabungkan supaya this one has can be created as a unique identity for this brand itself. Okay, jadi tempat orang kata tempat minum-minum, tempat lepak and all that. Okay, and then with that all, okay, it has to be also remembered that it is not just about establishing a recognizable visual identity, but it is also looking over on how do we create the brand personality that resonate with the customers, which means right now this is what has been mentioned by Miss Uchi just now. The values and also the qualities yang kita perlu tekankan in order to create connection with your targeted consumers ataupun targeted audience. Okay, so without these values and also qualities, it is quite hard for us to communicate or connect to the target audience. So there are 4 things that been highlighted just now when we talk about startup building, and this is also one of the research strategies that you need to apply when it comes to bringing up the companies, bringing up the brand, where you need to make sure that you understand what are the promises that you can apply or you can mention in order to reflect on the brand itself, and then you direct yourself to the story of the product. You're able to tell the stories about the product, what you want to do, what you plan to do, what is your aim at the end of it, and at the same time, the values which concentrating on the driving tools. Okay, driving tools meaning that what can you apply into your branding so that at the end of it, it is not the same as other products. Okay, and finally, visual, where we are looking forward on the name, look, and also the feel. So this is very important. Okay, it is also mentioned by Gerald Zoltman saying that many startups prefer not to spend their time and money on their branding and simply copy their competitors' identity and the current internet trends. It is true. Okay, it is true. In fact, in a real life also, you as a designer, me as a designer, we refer to, we do references, okay, which means that we have other designers design, we refer, but there are people who duplicate or copy or intend to do the same thing. Okay, intend to do the same thing, meaning that they have a look on certain things and then they mention to the designers, I want to do like this. Okay, but we as a designer, we have to make sure that we able to play around or play our I can say that play our role as a designer in telling them what are the needs and what are the don'ts that we have to do. Okay, such as, like, if let's say they said that they want to prepare something like this, it is not meant that we have to copy 100% the things that we do, but we able to come up with several things. So I will go ahead with that later. Okay, so this is very important. When you want to build a startup, you have to make sure that research is very, very important in developing a strong branding design. Okay, so here, when we want to create one, we need to make sure that we able to create an emotional motivation over the corporates competing with other brands which is almost the same thing, okay, same products that we have created. So we can't say that, it is not saying that cannot be the same, but the best part is that we have to develop and develop so that it is not similar like what it has been created before, okay. And then this one are some of the research done where 94% of the people around the world, okay, recognize logos. Okay, I can say recognize logo. They able to recognize what is Coca-Cola. Okay, I can also say that most of the people here in this entire world, they able to recognize a certain product that has been planted in their mind. Okay, so whatever brand in Malaysia, in Indonesia, if those brands are success, people's or your targeted audience remember the product's logo. Okay, and then it is also mentioned over here, 86%, okay, 86% of the, 86% of consumers prefer an authentic and honest brand personality on social network. I always tell my students, that advertising are liar. Okay, penipu. Okay, always lie to people. Tapi, it doesn't mean that 100% of the advertisement are liar. No, okay. But this is reflecting to what I said. 86% of consumers prefer an authentic and honest brand personality on social network. Okay, what you serve to the audience, that is what they want. Okay, so that is why when you create something, the owner of the brand has to be very honest on what they are serving to you. Okay, that is the main thing. It is okay if, let's say, it is baju atau sabun, itu okay. But it comes to food, okay, it is going to be much more critical. Okay, and then over 5/7, okay, the impression of people to remember your brand, okay, it is in between that 5 hingga 7. Out of 7, mostly 5 people remember about the product. Okay, and then 77% of B&B marketeers say that branding is crucial for growth. You nampak tak? Branding is very crucial for growth. So, by having a communicator like us, it is our job, it is our task to make sure that the organization or the owner of the brand are aware of this. Okay? And then 94% of people say that they had be highly likely to recommend a brand they were emotionally engaged. Emotionally engaged meaning that bukanlah emotionally meaning that menangis atau ketawa dengan produk itu. Tapi what brings you to continuously drink that drinks? What brings you continuously to buy that product? What makes you continuously go to that restaurant? Okay, that is the emotionally engaged. So, liaising to that, okay, it presenting that 23% of brand consistency across all platform. Okay, it is increasing the revenue, 23%. Okay, so it is very important for us to present a strong branding in order to reach to this 94% of people who remember our logo, 94% of people who have emotionally engaged with our products. Okay, so it is very important for us to get into that. Okay, and then this brand, I can say one of the strongest brand, Nike. All right, everyone knows what is Nike. The entire world know what is Nike. They, even though they have already established, but how do they actually define themselves is more on the product that itself. Okay, so they don't even show directly their logo on the product. on the one that wearing, the athletes wearing, there is no logo, but that is theirs. With the headline that has been approached here, be the hero you didn't have by wearing Nike, and you just do it. Okay, likewise to this. Okay, this athletes, okay, if they think your dreams are crazy, show them what crazy dreams can do, and you just do it. Okay, but at the same time, they are promoting the brand. Okay, and finally, this one, do things history could only dreams of, and you just do it. That is Nike, and that is how they try to connect us and them. Okay, and then now I am getting more in depth on the 10 step of startups branding process. This is what we are going to do. Even though these are the processes, but in the processes that we need to go through, you need to start to get more references into it. Okay, the first thing is that you go back to your story. Your first ideation session was likely to focus on what you offer as a product or services. But when you want to go back to your story, you go back to your main mission, the value, the mission, the vision that you have. You have to remember that what is the main thing that you want to deliver. Tapi dalam mengeluarkan sedikit ideas asal, you need to make sure that you try to get all the SWOT analysis from your competitors, from you, and you have to make sure that all the 4 things, the major things, has been described. Okay, which means that you need to know what are the strengths of your brand, what are the weaknesses of your brand, what are the opportunities of your brand, and who are the threats. But at the same time, ini adalah your own. Tapi what you need to do is that you need to also look after your competitors' SWOT analysis. You need to make sure that you deep dive inside your client's strength, their weaknesses, their opportunities, and also their threats. Once you selected their threats, you know who are your threats too. Okay? And then next, you need to make sure that you set your brand voice. When you're able to set your brand voice, you're able to highlight your keywords that will also be your brand voice. Okay, just now, Ms. Uche ada mentioned that USP. Okay, that is the brand voice that you need to make sure that you able to deliver. Okay, bring along, bawa ke hadapan, and you have to make sure that every single words that you use as your brand voice has the meaning and has the strengthen point. Okay, you nak menuju ke depan, you want to reach the aim, you need to make sure that you able to justify every keywords in your brand voice. Okay, like Kit Kat, we know that have a break, have a Kit Kat, right? Have a break, have a Kit Kat. Why? Why do they use that? Okay, question mark, question mark, question mark. But every single thing that they approach, okay, in their advertisement, they try to break down the Kit Kat, 1 bar, it's enough already. We understand. Take a break. Hey, take a break and have a Kit Kat crack. You give it to the one of the person in the advertisement. You see, that is the brand voice that I meant. If let's say in Malaysia, kita punya Maggi, like Indomie, like that, okay, and the tagline is only 5 minutes, 3 minutes or 5 minutes, like that. Okay, so you able to cook it within that duration. So if let's say you are really hungry, you just take 1 Maggi and just boil it within that duration, you can just have it. That is your brand voice, a promise that you deliver to the client. Okay, so decide on a company's name. Okay, this is one of the biggest factors that you need to understand. When you want to create your name, you need to make sure that it is not that you create a name by just pluck once. Okay, I got this name. No, it is not like that. What you need to do, once you pluck once, you got the name, but you need to understand the meaning of the name. Why? Because at the end of it, every single names that you have put into your brand, you need to justify it into your rationale. And you need to make sure that it is described in your brand guideline. Okay, that is very important. And that is why it is also mentioned here, when you deciding on a name for your new company, okay, how easy your name is going to be spelled, how easy it is going to be remembered, if it has room for expansion, if it's available, and how it fits with your brand voice. You see the connection between this brand name and also the brand voice just now. Okay, you need to make sure, that is what I said just now, when you want to make sure that when you want to create your brand voice, you have to make sure that you understand every single keyword that has been applied there, so that it is interrelated to your company's name here. Make sure that it fits. Okay, make sure that it fits. All right, and then next is write your mission statement. Every single mission statement, okay, has to be round up between your brand and also your brand voice. Okay, that is why it is mentioned here, is a staple for building internal culture and driving your future marketing materials. Okay, kalau if let's say kalian masih tertanya-tanya apa, bagaimana, what are the connection, meaning that the brand is not as strong as what we thought. Okay, you have to make sure that the mission statement has been listed down. Apa, the 5W1H. Okay, that is what we are supposed to list it down in our mission statement. What, when, where, why, how, who. Okay, these are the things that we need to clarify before we finalize with the mission statement. And then we have to put together all the things into a mood board so that we able to finalize the thing. So you picked up 50 pitches, 100 pitches that is related to your company's board. But if let's say you still like staring on the board, something wrong with the board. Okay, it normally your mood board must be pretty. Okay, must be pretty. You have a lot of good ideas that you apply on the mood board. But again, punya mood board tapi nggak punya animations, it's a wrong way. That is why from the brand voice, it goes to the brand name, it goes to the mission statement just now, and finally, you will be able to have a good and strong mood boards. Okay, and this mood board will create you a strong branding. Okay, so from here also, you will be able to find your own color. When you see your color, sometimes we as a owner ataupun a brand owner, sometimes we may pick our own favorite brand color. Itu biasa. Alright, that is normal. We pick our own interest color. Tapi, does it relate to your brand? Itu yang sangat penting. It has to be the most logical things to do. It has to be the most logical things to do, whereby every single colors that you do, it has to be research. You have to do research. Okay, you have to find out, why do I use yellow? Why do I use orange? Why do I use baby blue? Okay, does it relates to my fruits? Unless you use cupcake, you are producing a cupcake brand, and then you are using this kind of color, pastel colors, which presenting your cupcakes. But that say you. What about the others? Do they have the same statement on that? In regards to temptation, in regards to how eager people want to eat cupcakes, does the color is a must to be used on cupcake? So you need to get clarification and justification from someone else saying that yes and yes and yes. Okay, so if let's say it is not related, it is based on your own senses, okay, try not to apply that. Try to look on the most suitable one that is related to your keywords just now, your brand voice, and also your mission. Okay, and then design your logo. All right, when you say that you want to design your logo, this is what I always highlighted to my student. Combine. You have one brand, you have another brand, you have another brand that you have research on, but reflecting to what has been said by Gerald just now, copy. Are you going to copy the same thing? No, you are going to copy only the ideation, how the process is going on. That is what you are going to copy. That is why here it is mentioned here, your logo should incorporate your brand voice keywords and able to blend well with the rest of your mood board. And here is what I want to highlight. You have done a lot of research and you have already pasted all your research on the mood board, but pick one and one of the processes from one icon or from one element that you have. Try to plus and ended up you create one beneficial logo. Okay, a strong logo. Okay, bukan maksud when you do that kind of logo, you do that kind of research on a certain brand, you ambil, you olah. Bukan. Okay. You need to develop. That is why we have idea development. Daripada satu bentuk, kita kembangkan lagi untuk jadi bentuk yang lain. Alright? And then choose your typography. Making the right decision depends on the function, context, and a whole set of other factors. This is really, really important when it comes to choosing typography. Okay? I seriously, kalau kita nak buat logo, try lah avoid our common typography. Arial, Century Gothic, okay, Avenir, okay, Helvetica. Try to avoid that. Alright? You need to make sure that you understand. Nowadays, you are very lucky because you able to find out more typeface in the net. Like during our time, okay, we have to design ourselves, we have to trace it ourselves, every single thing. So use back all the beneficial things from your side and apply, choose the suitable one, okay, and insert into your logo type. Okay, so with this also, that is why I said you have a lot of choices for you to choose, for you to make decision. But when it comes to this, you need to remember that how are we going to know that these are the selected one? So you need to make sure that you understand what is the function of serif font, what is the function of sans serif font. Do you, if let's say you want to produce a fruit farm brand, and then you try to look for logos such as a horror logo, is it suitable? It is not suitable. So you have to find out what are the types of font yang punya potensi untuk bawa the product ke hadapan. Okay? And then you have to put everything together. You have the brand voice, you have the mission statement, you have your logo, and now you have already your typography. Use it as your guide. Use it as your guide. Okay, at the end of it, all the combination, all the design that you have created, you compile and it will become your own kitab. Okay, it will become your own kitab. Wherever you go, wherever you be, okay, you bring along that kitab everywhere. If let's say you, as an owner of a brand, you want to hire someone else, you bring that kitab, you bring that guideline to the other outsourced designer for them to refer to. And that is why when we observe, when we do research on a certain brand, we will be able to see why does this brand, the logo on their posters is always on the left-hand side? Why does another brand, the logo, always at the bottom but at the middle? And why does a logo a brand yang mana have normally the logo on the top left, but when they have any collaboration, all the collaboration on the right hand side. Because why? Because everything has been stated in their brand guideline, in their kitab. So you need to make sure that you understand before you deliver all the brand guidelines to the other people. Okay? And then finally, this part, you have to make sure that it is consistent. All the things that you have created, it has to be consistent, and everything that involve in your businesses, it should be fit perfectly into your style guide as an example for your design element. Apapun, it has to have similar or standardized content, okay, into your product style, okay? And when we talk about this, okay, you have to make sure that the focus of you in achieving an impactful branding to make sure that the startup that you have planned, starting from the first step until the end, it has to be authenticity, okay? It has to be have the ownership, okay? You own the thing. And then it has the recognition. When people able to recognize you, when people able to display your brand, okay, meaning that it is one of the impact for branding, okay. And finally, as I mentioned, consistency, where the brand has to be consistent so that it can be recognized all over, okay, by anyone, anywho, okay, without questioning what brand is that. All right. And for summary, we know that as a startup launching in the marketing, okay, but one of the primary challenges is the absence of the brand awareness. That is why just now I keep mentioning twice, okay, consistency, okay, so that once you produce a brand, okay, that brand that you have researched, that you have dived in, okay, it able to create a memorable and also captivating brand identity that set every structure apart, okay. Hence, you try to create or try to craft up your own startup with the basic 10 steps that I mentioned just now, and make sure that you build them with pride. So thank you. That's all, Miss Novi.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nurfaiza. It's a really interesting presentation. Okay, everyone, we will begin our discussion session. So if you have a question, everyone, please ask directly to our great speakers today. We have Ms. Risu Dewi, and then we also have Dr. Nurfaiza. So if you are shy enough to ask directly to our speakers, maybe you can chat your question. You can drop the question in the chat. Okay, come on, students. Do you have a question or everything is clear? Please give us reaction, emoticon. If you think everything is clear, maybe you can give us, okay, chat, good explanation, okay, and then maybe you can give us the reaction thumbs up or love, let's say, if you think that the explanation from our speakers are clear enough. All right. Okay. Okay. All right, I think everyone has a clear understanding about the topic today. So maybe if you have no questions, students, we will end this session. So thank you very much for attending this session. This has been an interesting sharing session, actually. And I believe it will enrich our knowledge and our skills for our topic today. And thank you very much, Ms. Ri and then Dr. Noor. So before we end the session, we are going to have a photo group session. So everyone, please turn on your camera. We will take a moment, take a picture of this moment. Okay. Come on, please open your camera. Come on, Lydia, Wan Ahmad, Nur Shaliza, Diba, Farina, Verina, Nurin, Nur Habibah. Come on, please turn on your camera. Okay, so we will count until 3. So please put your best smile, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Okay, everyone is still opening the camera. Okay, I will count until 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you so much, everyone, and I will share you the feedback link. Okay, so I have shared the feedback link. Please fill out the feedback link and remember that this certificate only granted to participants who attend 2 sessions, yeah, this today's session and next session. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for attending today's topic, and don't forget to join again in our second session on December 6, 2023. So I bid you a goodbye. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr.